Now, this is going to stretch your thinking, I think, this next question. So here it is. What would happen if projects could only have, or could only be, red or green, never amber? Now, this makes me laugh because a number of times we've chatted about this at Flash Mobs. I know it sounds really geeky and a bit sad, but it nearly always comes up in conversation because it's people like to share the way that they do this kind of stuff about red, amber, green. Some people will go on and say, oh yeah, we actually have a pink as well, which means X or Y. And honestly, it's one of those things that always comes up about, you know, the red, amber, green, the rag stick, all that kind of stuff. It's a really good question though, isn't it?
Can you pop it up again for me just quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Is that it? That's all there is to the question, just
that's all there is to the question. I think somebody's being a little cheeky.
Okay.
It's like, unless it's something that they genuinely carry around in their head every day.
Yeah. So I would love to know who's asked the question, and ask them what brought them to this point. To my mind, this is a possible solution to a root cause. I'd love to know the root cause, but the name of the game is Ask a Stupid Question Day. So let's have a bash. Yeah, how long have you got? So I've said already, I'm a people person. So let me answer it from a people perspective, right? And let's imagine for one moment that I'm now a PM with sleepless nights, making decisions on a daily basis that I'm really not sure about, even though I created 3 options and went through. Anyway, so I'm a PM in an environment, right? Damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'll make it green, but I know it's not bloody green. I'm having sleepless nights. I'm working 20 hours a day. I'm chasing people around the world to get stuff done, and it's just becoming too stressful. Or I make it red. Oh, thank God for that. But every other week it goes red because I'm flagging I need some support from my sponsor. But all my peers and perhaps even the sponsor thinks I'm just not up to it, and I'm a PM that's really struggling out of my depth. So my first reaction is it'd be a very difficult place to work as a PM. From the human side of change management, project delivery, that's going to be really hard. And a lot of people voting with their feet, going on long-term sick, whatever it might be. And then secondly, if I'm a decision maker, I'm going to really struggle to deliver the strategic objectives of the business because I'm never going to have time to correct things and put boxes back on the truck. Because the very definition of red is it's going to fail on one measure, whether that be time, scope, delivery, or it just isn't an MVP that the customer's happy with. Mm-hmm. Red means we are not going to make that in some way, shape, or form. So I'm never going to have the time to put things back. I'm going to be firefighting. Typically, costs money. Well, there's a cost, whether it's money, time, effort, credibility, asking people to work another weekend, but I'll stay and I'll pay for pizzas. That might be a bit old-fashioned, but there's a cost to that. So I do think, I don't think it's a viable way of doing it. But again, I would love to know what's the root cause that prompted the question.
Well, we might be able to get a bit of an insight here because we've got Lorna on the session, and she said that in her place that they have no amber where they're at. But they've added something called AR and AG, which is obviously amber red, amber green, to stop people going for the middle option.
Yes. Okay. Like that. I like that. You're either above the line or below the line.
Yeah.
Pick one.
You're forcing them to say, are you more red or are you more green? Because there was 5, and then you're 5 and people still go for the middle option. So is it nearly okay or is it nearly not okay? So
no, I like that.
A little bit.
It's funny when in a former life I used to do training delivery and things, and we used to have to design courses, and then the training needs assessment and the evaluation forms, and we always had even numbers because then you can't pick the middle. So if you have smiley faces, you have 5 of them, people just go down the middle, done, right? Whereas if you have 4, as you've now done, Lorna, you have to, crikey, you've got to really think and answer the question: was that above the line good, below the line bad? So I actually really like that. I've typically worked in a 3 or a 5 system, but I like the 4 system. That's
I would argue, why are we even reducing them to colours? If we're spending all this time trying to give people options, and there's status reports and there's words and there's, why do we bring it right down to black and white? Because projects are never black and white. We've said all that. So the people involved, it's never going to be straightforward. And we do all this stuff about, let's give people options. Let's tell them a story. Let's get them brought in. But no, let's just reduce it to a colour. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense in the grand scheme of things. But it is an interesting question. But I'd be interested to see.
Equally, lots of states. All stakeholders are different. Some stakeholders like visual picture. I'm a picture person, right? I remember things in 2,000 photographs in the head all the time. Other people I know are not. They like data. So and equally worked for a colleague, and I didn't realize for the first 2 months I kept talking about and showing people colors, and he said he teased me after a while and said, just so you know, I'm colorblind, can we do something about this? So it opens your eyes to, it's not for everybody. Yeah, absolutely.